Ed. Today, following up on the movement for black powder, we're going to go into the second phase, is shooting. This is one of the easiest portions of the rules. Um, Shooting phase, any musketry or artillery or rockets, if you have rockets. Um, so how we start off, um, you look at your figures of what kind of weapons they got. In the Napoleonic period, most of your troops will have smoothbore rifles, not rifles, guns. Uh, there are rifled guns there on both sides, but in this situation, we're going to go with muskets. That's what comes in the box set, the Waterloo box set. So the British just got done their movement. They moved up. Now they're going to do some musketry fire. So with a smoothbore musket, it has a range of 18 inches. Um, so all you need to do is measure from the center of your unit to the closest part of the unit you're shooting at. In this case, the French was just straight ahead, and the range is 9.5 inches. So you're in range of musketry fire. The modifiers, as you go down, um, you got artillery shooting at column or square, which we don't at the moment. Is it close range? Close range for musket is 6 inches. If you're within 6 inches, this also includes closing fire or skirmishers. It's a +1. So, and the number you need to hit is always it's based on a 4. That is the base number. Are these guys are disordered or shaken? We'll come to that. Target is skirmishers. Deployed artillery are not clear. Nope, not clear is if they have cover. If there's a wall, or if there's you got a row of skirmishers in front. You want to shoot at the main body. They're not clear. Those are -1. Artillery over half range and cannons shooting overhead, which they're not. So basically, in this roll, it's going to be this a regular roll of 4 or more. So on your sheet, shooting for our line infantry is 3. So you take 3 dice. Now, this is in this the British special rule is first fire. What that means, during the first time they shoot in a game, they get 1 extra dice. So the number. So you just roll your 4 dice, and the number I need to get is 4. So I roll. So 4 dice, I got 2 hits onto the French. So if the French take 2 hits, then you keep shooting with anyone at that unit. Once that unit, everyone's done shooting that unit, then you roll to see if they live or not. So they take 2 hits. The morale value of regular line troops is a 4. All that morale is, so you roll as many dice as casualties you take it, and they need 4 or more. I got 1 4, 1 miss. So I'll save 1, and he'll take 1 casualty. And once a unit takes a casualty, they always have that 1 casualty. So you can heal units, but but all the way down to 1. So once you take your first one, you're always going to have it. That's the basics of shooting. There are also other modifications. If this was a large unit, right now a 6 stand in mine is a regular unit. If you have 8 stands, that's a large unit. They would get a +1 because there's more guys shooting. If it's a small unit, you get less shooting. You get -1. And if it's a tiny one, you even get less. Formation modifiers. If you're in attack column, which is the two forward in 3D, you only get 1 dice to shoot because everyone's marching, and so only 1 dice to be shot. Another one's a mixed formation, which we don't really get into it. It's an oddball formation that some nations can do. If you're in a square, if these guys were in a square, you get 1 dice per facing. If you're in a march column, which is the long line, one formation you don't want to be caught in, you get 1 dice. The shooting. limbered artillery, although with limbered artillery, if this artillery is limbered, it cannot shoot. And the tactical modifiers, which is, if this was the British, and if you're on the flank, you double the number of dice you shoot. So instead of throwing 3, you double that. And now with the British, they get first fire, you get 4 dice. They double that, they get 8 dice. So the first time a British unit's firing, they'll roll 8 dice. And I rolled really bad, so I only got 3 hits. If you get the same thing about shooting artillery in the flank, and if you're in a building, built up area, you always get 2 dice out each side of the built up area. So it makes it easy for that. Now, on this dice roll, I'm shooting, I rolled a 6. So when you're shooting, and only when you're shooting, if you roll a natural 6, you disordered your target. Now, once a unit is disordered, so I disordered this unit, the French unit here. They cannot be issued orders until at the end of their next turn. So disordering really hampers the unit from movement. They still can shoot because but when they shoot during their turn, they get a negative because they're disordered. And also, as I said, you cannot be given orders. The only order they can do is they can do a fallback. A disordered fallback is they get to move 1 movement backwards. That's all. So they give them away from an enemy, but that's all that they can do. So once your turn's done, they'll do the French side of move. They do all your movement. At the end of your movement phase, you can pick up the disordered, and the following turn they can operate normally within their turns. There's special rules like if you're elite. So like if this was an elite unit, at the beginning of your turn, if you're disordered, you roll a die depending on what type of elite. There's a number from 4 to 6. So say like this is a young guard unit. They're elite 5. So at the beginning of your turn, if you're disordered, you roll a dice. If you get a 5 or higher, the disorder is pulled and they can operate normally. So that's one way to get out of disorder at the beginning of the turn. If you're the elite units, you just shake it off. It don't bother you. So that's it for shooting. It's very quick. It's very fast. You do get minus, say if you're disordered or shaken, which we'll get to shaken later. You get disordered. So you do casualties. So your stamina is 3. So once you get to 3, you start getting very serious problems. So they've taken 3 casualties from a flank fire. So this unit's going to fire. They already fired once, so they'll fire again. And okay, let's say I hit. So I hit once. I knocks them up to 4. Now, 4. Then you have to do a check because they're over their stamina value by 1. So all you need to do for that, this comes at the end as a morale check, morale phase at the end. But this is the quick head. So you take 3, you take 2 dice, and on it evades. You gotta take a break test on the front. And all you have to do is per excess casualty, which is 1. To say if they were disordered, that's a 2. And they didn't suffer no casualties from artillery. So right now they're on -2 because they're 1 over their stamina, and they took a disorder from a flank fire. So all you do is roll 2 dice. So I rolled a 10, -2 is an 8. All I do is go down to, let's see if I can get a picture. Come on, get in the focus. But on the sheet, you got 7 plus from shooting. You go, it says holds. So they hold their ground. They don't break or anything. And this always goes down to their stamina value. So all your excess casualties above 3 are taken off down to 3. So if you had like a 6, if you make it, you always go down to 3. So because anytime you take another casualty, that just keeps going up. Then you have to do a morale check. If you pass or fail, then that goes back down to 3. So that's what keeps your unit in line or makes it free off the table. But We'll go more than that during the morale phase. But that's a quick way of shooting. Shooting is straightforward. You just measure if you're in range, some modifiers. Most of the modifiers you won't use if you know what they are. So if this is a regular unit, they're not disordered, they haven't taken any casualties, they're going to hit on a 4. So nice, simple, fast. 4 is the magic number for all your morale checks and hand to hand. So that's the magic number. So that's it for shooting. Quick, simple. If anything comes up that it's odd and rules don't cover, then you can just work it out as a gentleman's agreement. But yep. So thanks for watching, guys. Next, it's going to be hand-to-hand combat. So that runs basically the same way, but with little tweaks and something else. Okay. So see you later, guys.